okay, everybody. It'll be okay. We're rolling.
The heavens have parted and we have returned. They straight kicked us out.
We are blessing you with content because 2 of our listeners yelled at us.
Take our content.
Take
it all.
Hey, they don't move for free, so.
Yeah, I think it's a fair settlement. Pulled pork sandwiches and a side quest. I think that's pretty fair. I'm going on day 5 of pulled pork, by the way. And
beans?
And beans.
Nice.
I'm like shoveling beans into my mouth.
But you're eating the baked beans cold now, right?
No, I haven't been. I've been warming them up.
Oh.
So eat it cold?
They're best cold.
Okay.
What?
I'll go home and eat baked beans cold.
God, so good.
No, thanks.
We can pull it after this.
Like candy.
Like candy.
Candy.
It is sweet.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it.
They're so good.
I bought a new house. So that was, all this was pertaining to, Pussy Boy and I bought a new house.
Bought your East Side villa.
Yep, East Side. I moved from the West Side to the East Side.
Don't forget where you come from, boy.
Never. When I'm out there in my jorts and Crocs, and a ripped up tank top, get the hell out of here. No, you can't take the West Side out of me.
Nope. Born and raised.
But got settled in over the weekend, so we're officially staying over there now. But still kind of in between. I had to figure out how to show up here without a shirt. So fortunately, I had a hoodie. So I'm not wearing a shirt under this.
Okay.
So.
Well, it occurred to me that waking you up from your nap when you're on the other side of town is going to be a bitch.
It's not that bad.
I can't go inside.
Yeah.
Wake you up.
Well, and you got to go up a flight of stairs if you needed to do it.
Yeah. So if Mac's gone, I'm gonna have to come over and get you.
Yeah.
And there's not gonna be in this. Is Zach there yet? No. When I come and get you, you're gonna get the fuck up.
Yep. She talked to me in the same voice that she has to get me up out of bed in the morning. And I was like, "Why are you yelling?" I was like, "Just give me 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes, I'll get up." And then she nudges me again, and she was like, "Get the fuck up. It's been 5 minutes." And I was like, I just had a dream that I got up, and I did a whole bunch of shit, and I was late. It's like, please, God, just let me go back. I got to redo it. I got to make it.
Just remember, if you ever see a dream, you ever see a toilet in your dream, don't go.
Yeah. The other one that I always dream about is work. And so, I've spoken to my boss. I was like, I know I don't get paid for that time, but I was like, that's got to mean something, right? I just got to count for something. Even when I'm not working, I'm working.
Yeah. I do that too. Dream about work, and I get super pissed.
I normally don't, and for whatever reason I did this weekend. Oh, I don't know. But I normally don't remember my dreams. And I don't remember what these were about. I just remember it was work related for some reason.
Most of mine at work are not like shitty or anything. Not like, okay, that was annoying, that frustrates me. It's super and I'm getting some type of glitch in my headphones.
I'm getting that too.
Are you getting that too?
Yeah, I'm not
I
sure
thought it was
exactly
just me.
what that is. Sounds like a little electronic cricket.
Yeah, it's kind of freaking me out. But anyway, I mean, there's super serious and like emergency situations at work, and so I wake up like stressed as fuck.
Right.
It's horrible.
Mine is usually like I had taken a lunch break and I had fallen asleep on the lunch break, and then I wake up and it's like the sun's going down and I've got all this work to do, and I'm like, what is going on? Horrible.
So we've actually got, believe it or not, we've actually got a show coming up in June. June Jams.
Yeah. What is the official date?
It'll be fun.
June 7th.
June 7th.
And it's at the Parsons VFW, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Do we know what side we're on?
No, I don't.
Gotcha.
No.
There's 2 sides. There's
the
bar
side
and then
with bands.
Yeah.
We'll be on that side.
Yeah.
We're going to be playing with Split Sanity. Yeah. Who else? I haven't been on for a while. Cut that.
We've all been busy over this past month, and we can kind of talk about it after this update. But I mean, we've actually been buckling down some of the hatches. So I'm not going to say it this time. I say it every time. I'm not going to say it this time.
Don't jinx it.
Yeah, Quentin is 98% done.
So felt good. Felt real good.
I'm 98% done with the song.
Yeah, no.
Making progress, but it's slow for sure.
I mean,
it is slow, but it's great. What you've sent has been great. Yeah, jumping back to that. Sorry, guys. Split Sanity, Final Warning, and Cold Water Kills. If you were at End of Summer Bash a couple of years ago when we had Riverside Current, they kind of had some member swaps and ended up they are Cold Water Kills. Now,
it'd be fun to see them.
Yeah, of course we all know and love Final Warning.
Oh yeah,
and the man that puts all this together has joined or formed. I don't know which way it happened. But,
formed Voltron. Please tell me he formed
that,
Voltron.
Also known as Split Sanity.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Anyway. If you ain't
Shout
got
out to
anything
Zach
going,
Cook.
Yes. You don't have anything going on. June 7th. June Jams. Parsons VFW.
Actually, if you do have something going on,
cancel it.
Fuck out. Have we talked about that on the podcast yet?
No. Our little 2-week adventure.
Yeah. Not even the 2 weeks prior.
No.
Wow, it has been a while, hasn't it?
No.
Detail out your adventures.
We ended up starting the trip to go see Spirit Box.
Yeah, Quentin and I. Let's clarify.
Sorry. Yeah, let's clarify.
We invited Zach, but he was like, "No, fuck you."
And then
it's not that music's not sad enough for me,
right?
And then a last minute friend, like that was 5 hours away. That I said, if you leave right now, you can make the show. And he said, I'm on it, and he showed up.
Oh, sweet.
So shout out to Tucker. He hauled ass to get down to Texas to go see Spirit Box, Loathe, and
Dying Wish.
All three
were awesome.
It was awesome.
It was I thought the cool thing was it was the kickoff night of the tour, and sold out. So the venue is the Southside Ballroom in Dallas, and it was packed. It was packed.
It was.
We started midway at the beginning, and then
on the fringe, and then just kind of muscled our way through.
Yeah. We got up close.
Yep, that was night one. Then we drove all the way back. Had a 2-week gap, and then we drove all the way back again for night 2, which was.
Let's go in ascending order. So it was Carcass.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, I only knew 2 songs, and they played one of the ones that I knew. But they were great. They were absolutely great at what they did. And I knew the one song, so I was like, hell yeah.
Well, and the lead singer made me feel a lot better about anything I wear up on stage. I mean, if your music's fucking heavy enough, I don't give a fuck. I mean, he looked cool as shit up there, and he was just like in a normal t-shirt and jeans.
Yeah, and he totally could have been a granddad at a picnic. Just,
I would have never thought.
The skinny granddad, and not, not the me granddad, which I'm not a granddad. Let's put it that.
Yeah, I was like, whoa.
Not yet.
Big things coming on that
not
one.
That you know.
Let's put the kibosh on that. Big things coming on that one.
In due time.
But he came out and fucking crushed it. And then after was Cannibal Corpse, which I was like, okay, this is going to be fun. They're an iconic band from that time and that genre. They're legends of themselves just for how long they've been around. And I was like, but I'm really not that into them. I can tell you, if you get the opportunity to see them live, go fucking see them live. I am a fan of them. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah. It's one of those bands. There are tons of bands out there that I don't gel with the music that I want to sit around and listen to it. but catching them live
Yeah.
is a whole nother story.
Live performance is definitely a different animal.
And yeah, Cannibal Corpse was one of them. Favorite bit of the night was Corpse Grinder, lead singer, walks out with a couple of water bottles, and he's showing them to the crowd like, you want one, something. And some guy says he wants one, and so he goes, "Don't fucking drop it." And he throws it, and sure enough, the guy drops it, and he goes, "Ha, you must be a Cowboys fan." "Yeah, I fucking said it."
In Dallas. And the whole crowd went, "Oh, shit."
And then he proceeds to throw another one out there, and he catches it one-handed, and the guy goes, "Oh, you must be a Broncos fan or something." So we thought Zach would appreciate that.
Yeah.
It was a badass experience to see them live. So much so that I would see them again.
Yes.
Cool.
One of those things. If I had an opportunity to, fuck yeah, they were that good.
But to believe it or not, no, let me rephrase that. But wait, there's more.
Oh, sorry. After Cannibal Corpse and Carcass, we got to go see the Mighty Meshuggah, and that blew my fucking mind off its hinges like 10 times over. Their light show was incredible and inspiring. I wish I had one of their little lasers that they had, and they had like 20.
Yeah. They cost more than everything in this room.
And like after seeing Carcass, Cannibal Corpse, and Meshuggah, I walking away from that show going, I'll play until I'm dead. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, if your music's heavy enough, you're heavy as fuck till the end.
Yeah.
It's like that can go one of two ways. You can walk away going like, this is the greatest thing ever. I'm so inspired. I'm going to play forever. You'd be like, I'm never touching my guitar again.
It was inspiring.
Well, I did come out of it and looked at my forearms and wrists and go, pussies. Especially after Bleed. Watching that. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, there's a lot of videos of it right now that's going viral on TikTok from their tour. Like, they'll come out, the house lights come on, and so it's just them on a completely black state. It's all painted black. And so they walk out just casually as can be. There's some of them are sipping water. Singer's walking around with the mic in his pocket, just kind of meandering around. And obviously the crowd's gets the mic out. He goes, "So what do you want to hear?" "Bleed!" And everybody's screaming it. And they're like, "Okay." Boom, and then it just goes.
One thing I have noticed from all the videos that I've seen is they did it best there.
Oh yeah,
because his arm cue
was perfect.
I mean, I'm doing the almost like the conductor,
like a maestro.
and when he goes down on the downbeat, man, lights just kick in, house lights go out,
and they're playing it,
and I'm just like, how do you something like that you almost need to work up to, and they just start
right. When did they start? When did that band start?
80s,
they've been
in the 80s.
Yeah, I was going to say they've been doing it a long time.
Yeah, they have stuff out there that's in drop D.
Yeah. I mean, I first heard about them with their album Chaos Sphere, and
Yes.
I could be wrong, but I want to say that that's maybe drop C.
Yeah.
It's in that vicinity. Maybe it's
slowly but surely going lower.
But
yeah.
I've got a video of it saved that we can show you.
Cool.
But that was just a incredible show. It was so much fun.
Yeah, I got that one too. That one's on my Facebook.
And then
so that was that. Okay, so that was the second trip down to Dallas.
Yeah, after 2 weeks hiatus.
Yeah.
We came back down
First night,
and then went back, crashed, slept, and then we drove to Austin the next night. And we got to see House of Protection, which I had never seen before or even really followed or heard of.
What's your impression of that band?
They put on a badass fucking live show, and you don't do enough acrobatics on a drum set.
No, you're right about that.
none of us do.
Respectfully, none of us can. But
you need to be running out and doing backflips off of guitar cabs.
and standing on a throne that absolutely spins the whole night.
Right?
Oh,
I was
man.
watching him just balance on that, and that gave me anxiety. I was like, how the fuck are you that confident to do it? And then jumping like knees to chest. So like jumping in the guy cannonball, but then landing back in his throne and right back into it. It was batshit.
They both sang. This is a 2-piece band, by the way.
But the singer, by God, wanted a mosh pit, and Austin was feeling kind of lax the first night, that night, and so he, sure as shit, grabbed his guitar and his mic stand, got in the center of it, and made a circle pit around him. They're like, if you guys won't do it, I'll do it for you, and then just started ripping guitar in the middle of it. They put on a hell of a show. So, and that was something else to mention and highlight about Dying Wish. Their crowd work was phenomenal. They got everybody fired up and good and ready for Loathe and Spirit Box.
What was that 2-piece band called again?
House of Protection.
House of.
And then after
kids being made in that house.
We kind of jumped ahead because we didn't really give a whole lot of props to Dying Wish, Loathe, or Spirit Box.
Right.
I mean, it's my third time seeing Spirit Box.
Yeah, we kind of brushed over that.
Yeah, and they're incredible every single time I've seen them.
Loathe was just straight up like new modern death tones.
Yeah, it vibe, dude.
It was such a vibe. I was just like, wow.
And like you said, Dying Wish, they were great. Everybody at the front of the stage was hyping. In between any like instrumental part or
I
ringing open
I don't do nearly
ringing
enough
open
movement.
an open note, ringing out an open note, and then they're just hyping, getting on the mic and hyping everybody up. It was really good. It was energetic. Okay, so now
and then Spirit Box naturally fucking crushed it.
Mm-hmm.
It was badass. Got front and center for that. But lastly, to kick off to end it, cap it off on our little adventure, Poppy. We got to go see Poppy, and that was fucking incredible.
Yeah, it was probably, well, it was certainly the biggest pit that we were involved in.
Really, out of all those bands.
Yeah. Now, granted that we were involved in.
Oh, yeah.
I was involved in a pretty big one in Meshuggah.
Yeah.
And I was like protecting a family of 4. That the parents were not familiar. They're like, my son listens and likes this music. And I'm like, okay, whenever they play Bleed, this pit's going to open the fuck up. Like, and I can't help you. And the next thing they're like, what do you want to hear? And they heard me shout. I was like, Bleed! Oh, sorry. Probably clip that. But I was like, Bleed! And and the mom just looked at me. She's like, "What the fuck?
Are we gonna die?"
So I was on like body blocking duty on that. But it was a good time.
But yeah, in Poppy, she had us split out, set up the wall of death, and then
she and
in Poppy.
In her Poppy voice, she announced to the crowd whenever everybody was kind of pissing and moaning about moving to do it. She literally just got on the mic in her Poppy voice and said, "If you're not with us, you're against us." And I was like, "Oh my God, we're gonna die."
Well, and we got pretty much something from every era, because she stylistically bounced around quite a bit. We did get Bite Your Teeth.
Nice.
Yeah. My phone filled up, but he got a lot of it on his phone.
Mm-hmm.
But we got the.
It was either me or someone next to me. I'm thinking it was someone next to me because somebody was singing next to the camera, and it was not good. Definitely wasn't me. Pretty confident it wasn't me. Yeah, but and after they ended, I spent every last drop of basketball potential I had in my blood on achieving a 5-foot vertical and grabbing a fucking drumstick.
Oh, nice.
And I beat out the 6'5" guy that was right behind me. Like, I spent all basketball potential I had grabbing that drumstick. And there was one girl, she was like, "Can I hold it?" And I was like, "No." She's like, "Can I touch it?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then I like death gripped the top and the bottom of it. And I was like, "You can touch it, but no."
Yeah.
And I was like, I told Dad because I managed to grab it was Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah.
No, it was Carcass.
Carcass.
It was a Carcass guitar pick. And there was a little 18-year-old girl, like first concert she'd ever been to, in front of me that like there was some asshole that literally like she put her foot down to save this guitar pick that landed for her. He lifted her foot up, snatched it out.
Oh.
And so she was kind of upset about it. And so I gave her the guitar pick and I told Dad, I said, I traded up.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Because I gave her that guitar pick. I said, I saw what happened. You can have this one.
That's
so.
The only thing I've ever snagged from a concert like that was Danny Carey threw out like a full Gatorade. Or it was open, but it was mostly full. And I caught it without spilling any. And I drank Danny Carey's Gatorade.
Get that backwash.
You would have drank more than just his Gatorade, wouldn't you?
It makes me drum better.
Sweet nectar along.
But yeah, and then I got up the next day and drove the 9.5 hours back home.
Had a flat tire on the way back.
Yep.
But we got super fucking lucky.
Yeah, given all the and we had about an hour of cushion, an hour to 2 hours cushion when we got to places before the show, because a lot of what we did was would we get to where we were going and then take an Uber, so that way we could get dropped off and just get picked up. But yeah, had we got the flat tire going down, we'd have been late. Or at the back of the crowd, or
so like I wasn't even pissed about the flat tire. I was like, "Thank you, flat tire, for perfect timing." Yeah. Thank you for that. I said, "You deserve not one but 2 new tire."
But we were 100% up in the shit for all 3 of those shows. Great.
Oh, it was incredible.
I didn't tell you this. So going down, we didn't eat anything going down.
Oh, really?
Dallas the second time. We hit a convenience store, back, get some road snacks on the and
road
then after
beers
the show,
and the smokes.
Yeah. And then on the way down to Austin, we stopped at, what was it called?
Oh, the restaurant.
Yeah,
it was
the bar.
It was the
Tipsy Lion.
Tipsy Lion.
Tipsy Lion, and it was in West Texas.
Small hole in the wall. The most.
It's a Czech community.
Yeah.
Or at least it was formed.
It was the highest Czech heritage community in Texas, is what they boasted.
Yeah. But we went to a bar and grill, so we got a Reuben and burger.
Yeah, a burger nachos.
Yeah.
Or burger fries. Where I sat there and I looked like I've been eating burgers wrong my whole life. I said, "You just throw all this shit together? This is awesome."
Yeah, there was no bun. It was a bed of fries, and then the burger was built, chopped up and then built on top of the fries.
Pickles, ketchup, mustard, the whole 9. I was
Wow.
like, "This is fucking awesome."
Oh.
I said, "I'm eating them wrong."
And then I think we got, again, some snacks, some kind.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had lunch on the way back. Where did we end up having lunch? Oh, we had the hibachi.
Yeah.
But ultimately, that was all we ate. And with all the energy spent those 3 days, I lost 12 pounds.
Did you?
Yeah.
Shit.
I think I found it, but
Yeah.
but I got on scale and went, wait a minute, get back on. Holy shit.
Sweat the most I've ever
I
sweat.
need to do this more often.
At the Spirit Box show.
Yeah.
Cannibal Corpse and Meshuggah and Carcass. I sweat my ass off, but not nearly to the extent.
It was packed.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, you were hugging the person in front of you without putting your arms around them.
Spirit Box. It was really fun to see the different crowd dynamics too.
Yeah, because Spirit Box and Meshuggah were both at the same venue, just 2 weeks apart.
Yep. And so Had a much younger crowd at the Spirit Box, Loathe, and Dying Wish.
That makes sense.
A lot more crowd surfing, etc. And then the Cannibal Corpse, Meshuggah show, older crowd,
right?
But like I said, there was a
lot of Gen Xers.
Well, there was a little 18-year-old girl that knew every word to "I Come Blood" by Cannibal Corpse, and I was like, oh, okay.
There weren't as many crossed arms as I thought.
I was expecting quite a bit.
Of course, that might have been towards the back,
right?
We were, like I say, we were up in the shit.
Yeah, we were in the shit. And then Poppy was what I would describe as a very Austin crowd. Their slogans, stay weird, Austin.
Right.
And so it was all kinds of personalities.
Oh yeah, it was a hodgepodge, man. It was cool.
It was very cool.
That makes a lot of sense for her.
I got an incredible hat that says I went to a Poppy concert and now I'm gay. I saw it and I was just like, I'm gonna regret not getting that hat. And so I got it, but managed to score a drumstick. And then we got to hear the little nod to Meshuggah that Poppy does.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's in New Way Out.
Oh, okay.
It's basically like a drum fill, but they're guitarist, bassist, and drummer are all on point for like one bar of bleed.
Right on.
And it was just like,
shit! It jumps right. Oh, that's it,
So, phenomenal drummer.
Yeah.
And so I felt like hot shit grabbing that drumstick.
Oh yeah. Like I'm pretty jealous about Meshuggah, but I'm like really jealous about
Yeah, she played Concrete. She played I Disagree.
Nice.
A lot of the stuff off the new album.
Nice.
Vital. Crystalline, which is my favorite.
Crystalline.
It was great because it was
it's
like
just pop.
Yeah, it was just like a whole bunch of really hard songs that she started out with, and then it drops into that. And
super upbeat.
Everybody's
synth.
bopping. Man.
Yep.
It's fucking great.
Yep. Dad and I, Dad witnessed me just absolutely slaughter strangers at all of those shows with the, hey, what's that you got in your shirt? And there was one gentleman that clapped back. He's like, what are you, a fucking dad or something? And I was like, that's the scariest part. I'm not. I only had one guy swat at me.
He swatted
so
at
he did
you.
it. He's like, get the fuck. And there was one gentleman in the pit whenever it kind of like lightened up for a second that I tried to get. And I was like, you got some on your shirt? And he was like, I bet I do. And I was like, you son of a bitch. You're the first one. The first one. And then there was another guy that I got him. But I went all in on that bit because typically the way that I do it, especially at those shows where I know I'm never going to run into this person again, is you have to add an extra little spice to it, right? So you hit him with it and then you go, fucking dork, and you just laugh at him the whole time. Hit him with that one, and the whole friend group just like lost it on him. They were like, oh my God, I can't believe you fell for that. It was so good. And then I kept telling him, I was like, guys, you got to try it. It'll change your life. I said, it's a gateway to shenanigans.
The gateway to shenanigans. It is. That's a good way to look at it. Yep.
So, but it was a good time.
Yeah.
There was a giant, the 6'5" giant was a super nice guy, gentle giant. Was dating like a 4'11", 4'11",
He's tiny
girl, and
interesting.
Like he kind of looked like Eric Hosmer.
Yeah.
For the Royals,
former Royals ball player,
and
from the profile he did, and then you'd see him head on, and you're like, I don't know.
But anyway, he had to step out in the crowd. He's like, hey, can you hold it? Can you hold it? Hold my spot. I was like, sure. And so he starts walking back, and of course I can see him coming, 6'5",
right?
And so I just held my hand up, and then there was another gentleman there was another person. I don't want to assume their pronouns.
True.
But at the Poppy show, that was like front and center, that had like very inspired by Marilyn Manson, had a sick like half buzz long thing going on. And long ass acrylic nails that were like super cool and like daggers. Anyway, they were grabbing cups of water and just immediately turning, and like he just immediately held out his hand and just kept getting as much water as he could. And so I grabbed one, and then after that, I just started ponying the rest all back. And so myself and them were just kind of, we had this understanding of, you pass me the water, I continue to pass it back. I'll send it wherever. So it was cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. So there's only one or two assholes at the show. And then was it the Meshuggah show?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one asshole at the Meshuggah show that just kept getting into the pit and getting like nasty rough, like just incorrectly.
Well, it was the Meshuggah show that the two guys kept trying to cut in front of everybody.
Yeah.
And everybody was shutting them down.
Right. But anyway, this asshole in the pit that was just being a dickhead and just really roughing people up, like well past the point of you're just having a good time moshing.
Yeah, you're trying to hurt somebody.
On our way out of the venue, he was standing up against the wall, and he's all covered in sweat. And I was like, "Hey, what's that? You got any shirt? Huh?" Boom! Oh! And then I called him a fucking dork, and I left.
Nice. That's ballsy.
Yeah.
I like it.
So the important thing is you do it with a smile and laugh, and then it lightens up a lot.
Yeah.
And it's completely harmless.
And you wait till the guy's really tired from
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
So he got hit with a fucking dork and walked out. So I felt I had the power in that moment.
Yes.
So suck it, Trebek. But it was.
No, that sounds like an awesome, couple trip.
It was
for sure.
Expensive trip.
A little bit.
Yeah,
but we cut whatever costs we could.
And really, Poppy wasn't planned originally. I was hoping she was going to get in Dallas or somewhere closer, and she was nowhere near us. And so I knew that she was in Houston the night we were watching Meshuggah, and I was like, I was worried because I thought it was San Antonio the next night. But I saw Austin, and I'm like, Texas is a big fucking state. But it's Google Maps, Dallas to Austin, 4 hours. Oh fuck, we can do that.
I remember getting the text. He was like,
"It's only 4 hours."
It's only 4 hours, and I was like, "We're never gonna be closer to Austin than when we're in Dallas." So
and it's like, oh yeah. Spoiler alert: I managed to snag the two of us sleep token tickets for Nebraska in September. But her career path,
her trajectory,
she's never going to be this small again,
right?
And it's just like Spirit Box, or the first headlining tour that I got to see 2 years ago. They're already bigger. And so it's like, and hell, Sleep Token sold out a stadium tour of the U.S. in a weekend. That shit ain't never going to get cheaper again.
No.
Well, yeah, that was one of the things. Like, I agreed with Dad.
It was not cheap, but
that was the thing that I agreed with Dad on. Was one, we're never going to be closer to Austin if that's where she's at right now, the same timeline. And then two, like he said, that the opportunity is now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just going to be more expensive and way not nearly as intimate of a performance.
No,
that's what we got.
Like the first time you got to see Spirit Box, it was opening for Korn and Gojira, and we're in the back of the stadium.
The fuck back.
We can see everything great.
Yeah.
But, we're not 20 feet from the stage.
Yeah.
And we had to fight to get up there whenever we saw him the second time.
It's going to be a good show if it's general admission only.
Yes.
And that's what those shows were. Even the Spirit Box one.
Yep.
It was also a big venue. Not really any seating. I mean, when they say standing room only, it's standing room only unless you go sit at a bar.
Yep.
Which are way back. But
it's kind of, that makes me think of one of my all-time favorite bands, of course, it's Tool. like when Inema came out, I saw them in Tulsa, and I was right at, and there was someone like trying to peel me off the front the whole time. I was fighting to stay there the whole time, but it was awesome.
Oh yeah.
And then I've seen them four times, right? Then the second time I saw them was at, I don't know what it's called now, but it used to be Sandstone Amphitheater.
Yeah, I think it's Verizon.
Verizon, yeah.
Classic
Whatever.
Midwest fashion. We can't
Right.
ever say its actual name. It's always been Sandstone.
Right.
I just
No,
call
I know.
it Sandstone.
Well, it's like what company is fucking
Yeah.
put their
Yeah.
name on it now? I don't
it's
know.
Sandstone.
Fucking
It was-
corporatism.
We just call it Sandstone.
It was
Yeah,
Sandstone when I
Sandstone.
saw Pantera. So
Sandstone giveth and
So-
Sandstone taketh away.
So I was pretty close there too. It's like
That's
like
a
that-
cool stage.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. And then what was the third song? Shit.
it was in Tulsa. No, that's
Yeah.
when you went with Spencer and
Right.
Jake.
Anyways, the fourth time, by the time I got to the fourth time, they were playing the fucking arena, and I was in the nosebleed sections, and I couldn't see anything, and it sounded like shit, and I
Mhm.
spent a fortune on the tickets,
Oh,
and
that's a
it was
bummer.
just stupid.
Right.
I'm like, I'm never doing this again.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is like you got to see him when it was
Yeah.
a good
Yeah.
show.
Right.
Which honestly is a little disappointing. We missed out on Sleep Token last year. They were in Dallas,
Mhm.
which would have been a much smaller
More
show.
intimate show.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, like we were talking, Sleep Token's a vibe. So as long as the sound's good,
Yeah.
you're gonna get that vibe anywhere in the building. So,
But I'm excited for that, and I was really grateful for the opportunity to be front and center for all of those. And then Dad being, I know where I get it from, but I get the genetic to be crazy enough to be like, I'm getting to the fucking front, motherfuckers. Like I want my face to melt off whenever they open with, bleed or
well, and it's like we're saying, odds are, which it's kind of sad in a way that, I mean, it's great for the audience that Meshuggah is playing at venues that small, but you would think Meshuggah, a band of that clout, would be stadium,
Right.
But it's
And that's a band that, like with the light show and everything, that would kind of be awesome
it'd be
in a big
insane.
venue like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because just the stage alone was nuts. You amplify that to a whole stadium, I couldn't even imagine.
But I'm sure it boils down to costs.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I don't think these venues are, and maybe the venues are. I don't know how it works once you get to that level.
Right.
Whether the venues are paying you, I don't think so. I'm sure there's an agreement. but-
Right, where you get a cut of X and they get a cut of X.
Yeah, something.
Mhm.
But I mean, they just toured the States last year,
Mhm.
so for them to flip back around is pretty impressive, especially with the touring economy the way it is.
But it was a great fucking time. Some good out of the office time.
Yeah, and
But I did respond to like work emails like in a pit. like shoulder to shoulder with people, and I'm just over here like, oh, I gotta answer this. Like
well, I think you were on the phone most of the way down for Spirit Box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
working.
But,
Good thing I love my job.
yep. We repeatedly check in with D. He is doing well. He's getting through the semester. He's not completely white-headed. So,
Yep. Our little tyke growing up.
we look forward to having him back on this and on the left side of the stage. So,
Do you want to make the announcement about the potential new merch that you slaved away and got?
the new old stock.
Yeah, the new old stock.
Yeah, we dusted off the bins and found in a time capsule somewhere my personal
We went into an alternative
prognostication
timeline.
from 1985
We
or
went-
something like that.
We went and ventured into an alternative timeline and brought these back, and whenever they were huge. you know?
Yeah. Well, if you've been on Edge Over Edge's Instagram, then you know what it is. We've got a limited quantity of cassette tapes
we're testing the water
for
So-
our first album.
Time travel fuel is expensive, so
Our
We're-
flux capacitor doesn't pay for itself.
And the power of love doesn't go as far as it used to.
no, it's expensive. But yeah,
But
we've
if
got
you're hip
fucking
to be
cassettes,
square, we've got some cassettes.
and it looks sick. I want one, but Dad won't let me have one right now because we're gonna test the water with it.
Yeah,
so,
I might give you a fake one.
Yeah, so I need
At
you
least
guys.
you can put it on the shelf. You don't have a cassette deck anyway. So.
I need you guys to like really respond well to this, so that way we can get more of them, so I can have one because I want one. Like,
Oh, it's only fair. I can probably rustle you up one. You did get me the album on vinyl, so
it's true. It's true. Shocked the shit out of you on that one.
yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. And I really wish that was feasible, and we'd put that one out on vinyl too, but not at the moment. So we'd rather
Never say never.
no, but we'd rather
As Justin Bieber said.
invest in the future.
I always quote Justin Bieber anytime I can.
Of course, baby,
He's
baby.
looking rough these days. What's going on with the Biebs?
he's ripping bongs and marrow to woes, I guess.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Diddy diddlin'.
well, as long as he doesn't fall down the Kanye route, like,
Oh.
because whoa,
Man.
what is going on?
Go from Yeezy to Beezy.
That whole thing has just been like
It's a trip.
to the point that you're like, all right, this is just tabloid bullshit, like shit that you would see on the old magazines where it's just like, Rolling Stones secretly Nazis, like
yeah.
But they're real because it comes directly from him, and then he does things that back it, and you're just like, oh my god. It is I don't even want to talk about it on the podcast because
No,
it's
I
so
know.
problematic. It is insane, but as long as Bieber doesn't go down that route, I think he'll be okay. I think he
Yeah.
can probably
I
have
think-
like a Britney Spears crash out and be okay.
Right.
So
I think you can do a lot of things without going as far as down the Kanye.
it's a trip.
It's all a diversion.
Yeah. Well, I think there reaches a certain point in conspiracy level where you're just a planted like media focus attention like cover. If there's something that they don't want you to know, like Kanye, say something crazy.
Look,
Kanye.
the X-Files has been conditioning us for 9 years to seek the most outlandish story.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
why the real shit just slips through.
Uh-huh. So
I think
I believe
there
it.
is
Speaking
something
of, I
to,
did
like I've never been like a huge like fan of Kanye's music. It's just not like my style that I get into. But everyone says like or has said in the past that he's like such a genius and blah 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 blah. And we'll take their word for it. Maybe he is, but I think a lot of times that comes with a certain amount of like craziness. A certain amount of mental illness or something that
I don't know. It's next level.
like the Lord
crash out.
giveth and the Lord taketh away.
I definitely believe there is some instability in being creative.
Mhm.
I mean, it has to be.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise you will conform.
Well, yeah, I mean, in essence, you're going against the grain. I mean, yeah, you can be whatever genre, but there are always people that don't like what you create. Period.
Right.
And
Right.
so, whenever you get bigger and bigger and bigger, you're combating that on a broader scale at every interval, right?
Yep.
And some people can handle it, which I think he handles it better than anybody. He just doesn't care.
Right.
But I do think that there's something to say with like all of that pressure to succeed. And it also goes to show that like if you go unchecked in that realm for that long, like it's wild. Like,
So what you're saying is we need more haters.
More haters means we have more listeners.
That's true.
So I stand by that.
No such thing as bad publicity.
I remember the first end of summer
Drink the
bash
haterade, guys.
So I'll never forget the first end of summer bash hater. I'm like, we made it. Made it, baby.
Right.
Never heard of these bands before. I haven't heard of you either, buddy.
Yeah. It's kind of the fucking point.
I'm talking to you, Mark. No, I don't remember his name, but
You paid money to see bands that you never heard of.
No. This was a Facebook post.
oh, it was just
It
Facebook.
never came out.
Yeah.
And he was from Oklahoma, I think. So.
I memorized his face so that way I could go and like give him a really warm like Midwest welcome. And I mean that sincerely. Like I was gonna go like
I bet he has something on his shirt.
I was gonna go
yeah. That may have been before that, but that would have been a great spot for it. Fucking dork.
But no, I mean I was really hoping that he'd show out so that way I could talk to him. Really wanted to know. Maybe we can be him on the podcast.
Yeah. I don't.
Get a little drama going on.
Gotta get
Yeah,
off the edge.
we can deep dive. We can become one of those drama channels that just regurgitate the shit of the internet and then spin it for content. Like, side note, like some of the old YouTubers that I used to grow up listening to.
Oklahoma in 1978.
The legend, the hater.
No shade whatsoever on Shawnee, Oklahoma. I was just looking at Facebook Marketplace, so it's fresh in my mind.
Good things come from Shawnee on Marketplace.
Yeah.
Most of the time I find shit in Shawnee. I'm like, yeah.
Well, Colby's searching for a couch. Anybody out there selling a couch? So hit us up.
Lightly used.
Yeah.
So. But.
All right.
We're going to go
Nothing
jam?
like a used couch, man. That just kills the show right there.
We need a soundboard.
We do. Get a tape stop. Because we got tapes.
Oh,
See them
yeah.
at the table, June Jams, June 7th.
That was
VFW Parsons, Kansas.
not your best segue, but I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Ready to go jam?
Shows? Anybody? Before we move on?
I started watching Mythic Quest.
Oh, yeah.
No, you talked about that, yeah.
Yeah, I've talked about that a little bit.
Oh, yeah. See,
First two seasons are really good.
We've
After
totally
that, so.
I haven't finished the third season.
Gotcha.
And
I've been enjoying it. I just also like seeing the, like Cricket and Mac on there.
Yeah.
It's
It's weird. I don't know if you've got how far you're into it, but like
not even out of season 1 yet. I
Yeah,
don't
like
think.
every few episodes, they'll drop just out of nowhere a really heartfelt, like really well written, serious freaking episode, and it'll like just leave you floored, and then it'll go back to being just silly.
Well, that
ridiculous.
That was the
shit.
thing I really liked on, and I haven't watched probably after season 3 of Rick and Morty.
Mm-hmm.
That animation style hasn't ever really been my forte.
Yeah.
But I started watching it just because I heard great things about it. And I liked some of the memes that came out of it, and I started watching it, and just outlandish, off the wall type of humor, just crazy. And then they just drop this one that just like gut punches you
Right.
with a really serious topic, and they just like mic drop it, like close with dramatic music and the whole thing. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I wasn't supposed to feel things. Like,
Yeah. That's like the Mythic Quest kind of does that. At least the first two.
there's some things from that show that I've really enjoyed about. I can't remember what the acronym was, but it was ultimately the time it takes players to draw penises with an item. It was a shovel.
Yep.
It cracked me up. So
I had the realization as soon as it came out of my mouth is that we cannot honestly be a pop culture podcast because none of us are on the same fucking schedule or viewership.
no, it would require us to all
Yeah.
watch something like before an episode and be
Yeah.
like, yeah, right.
I mean, we tried that in the beginning, and we got kind of close, but like for me lately, and I finished Daredevil. It's been Andor season 2 and The Last of Us season 2.
Mhm.
So, anybody?
Mm,
You got into a little of Andor, but
a
that
little
was
bit
it.
of Andor. Yeah.
Did you watch any of Daredevil?
No, I haven't watched any of Daredevil. Shit.
Shit.
Right.
I watched the trailer
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, neat.
Yeah.
And then that was it.
Yeah.
And then I watched the Andor trailer and I was like, oh, that's neat.
Quentin totally, with his move, spoiled my opportunity to go see Thunderbolts. I'm kind of upset about.
Oh,
but
yeah. Sorry.
I'll have to try and
as I very adamantly was like, I don't want you lifting anything. I just need you holding doors and driving a truck.
Well, we know how that worked out.
He just jumped in.
Yeah.
You know, Dad. He was like,
Yeah.
this is taking too fucking long. I'll do it myself. Pussies.
Classic Matt.
Classic Matt. I'll do it my damn self.
Yeah.
So
I'm not a patient man when it comes to that.
just that?
I'm that way too. That to a point. Like it in parenting style, like looking back at mistakes I've made, it's like, to be more patient. Don't need to jump in there and be like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it.
So that's something that I think I'm really gonna struggle with. If and when, if we ever have kids. Is that, and also reminding myself that, like, for instance, they're 3 years old,
Yeah.
or they're 8.
They're stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you doing?
That's what got me through it. He's
Yeah.
fucking stupid. Oh, I'm kidding.
Because your brain's all dumb, dummy. Think, Mark, think. But
Shit, you
Who
don't
the
have.
fuck is Mark?
You're not paying for all that therapy.
it's a
Fuck it.
reference to an anime.
Oh, okay.
I
was
can't.
like, who the fuck is Mark?
It's a superhero one, and I can't remember. What it's called, but anyway, it's really deep and very graphic. Actually,
I'm pretty sure if like superheroes were real, and then the Superman origin story was real, and that was my kid, it would be Brightburn.
what does that mean?
I
God,
don't
you
know what
need
that
to watch-
means either.
Yeah, what does that mean?
What is Brightburn?
Brightburn's a movie, and it's essentially a Superman origin story if Superman went bad.
If it went wrong,
Yeah.
Okay.
gotcha. Didn't land in a small Kansas town.
No, he did. He did.
Oh.
And actually, the parents were great.
Oh,
It's just a bad seed.
gotcha.
It's a good movie. Check it out.
All right.
I've always loved that aspect.
I think it was.
though.
I don't think James Gunn directed it, but he produced it, and I think he wrote it.
Oh shit.
He was going to try, and I think at the time they were thinking that they were going to try and do like a dark origins, because it's not Superman,
Yeah.
but the origin
Is
is
in vain.
Superman.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So, just premise.
Wheel of Time.
No. If you were a if
What?
I don't know, if you just got exposed to some kind of crazy form of radiation, and you developed like some kind of mutant superpower or something,
Mm-hmm.
like not what would you want it to be, but what
What do you think we
it
would get?
would be?
Comatose.
By superpowers, narcolepsy.
He'd be like Christopher Walken in the first Prophecy. He was the angel Gabriel, but when he'd walk into the hospital, he'd like, shh, and they'd just fall asleep.
I
right.
think I'd be like a Sandman.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
I think I'd be like a Mr. Sandman.
Right on.
I think that would be my power. So, but and like they could never wake up. I think that would be the power. Like I have the power to do that, but
But you can't reverse it.
But I can't reverse it. They're immediately in a coma. Like
Oh man.
it'd be so. I would be a villain. I would be a villain
I think
because whenever I'm dealing with that, I am 100% a villain.
I think mine would be time based, but it would be like I have all the time in the world, and it's still not enough fucking time.
Right.
Oh yeah. I don't
Like
know.
you experience everything like 0.5% faster.
Yeah.
And so it just pisses you off because you're like, fuck. Like,
Because everything else around me is
yeah.
moving at a snail's pace. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
I think that for me, like I would have the ability to like know and understand everything, but I'd like instantly become like paralyzed where I couldn't act on anything. Like I would just be tortured with the fact that I would know how everything works and how to fix everything. But I wouldn't be able to communicate it or affect.
Hmm.
It's deep.
That is like superhero level anxiety.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
that would be
like Stephen Hawking, but without the mobility.
right.
Before we found out about Epstein's Island. So. Did you read that article? Allegedly, per the internet. So I don't fact check. I don't source check. Just FYI. I don't have time for that shit.
No.
It's on the internet. Of course it's real. College dropout, yada, yada, yada posted this. Of course he's credible. But,
Kanye backed it up.
exactly. Allegedly, Stephen Hawking was on that flight register for Epstein, right?
Yeah.
And allegedly, per the records, that his thing that he did whenever he went down there was that he would have, I believe the technical term, and if I'm wrong, I apologize, it comes from a place of ignorance, dwarfs work out very complex equations and just watch them. That's what did it for him.
That sounds like a Brad Williams bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Have you guys-
allegedly.
Have you guys seen the Brad Williams bit about John Stamos?
Yes.
Think so.
Oh my
Yes,
God,
I have.
it's so
It's
good.
awesome.
If listeners, if you haven't seen Brad Williams talk about John Stamos, look it up.
But
It's worth it.
anyway, allegedly that is the
Well, that was the MO. It's like he
Domo
Epstein would try to get in with
Whatever.
scientists.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
that was his big
try to
thing.
accomplish whatever their fantasy was. Apparently for him it was dwarfs solving very complicated math equations on a chalkboard.
Very close to my fantasy.
Okay.
Height optional.
Did I say that out loud? Cut that.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hopefully I think it was fine. I think it was a good one. We had a lot of life to
We had a lot
catch
of
up
stuff
on.
to talk about. We've got some into Summer Bash stuff to talk about next go round. We're still
See you in 6 months.
at the end. Oh, well, no. Into Summer Bash is in September. So we're wrapping up our sponsor drive. So if you told us you were going to give us some money, give us some money. Time's running out.
Yeah, you don't have to be an organization. If you want to just contribute money, we will post within reason whatever your message wants to be. If it just wants to be your name and your picture,
Yeah.
we would do it.
Yeah.
If you want to promote something that you do, like maybe it's let's use an example in terms of, well, I mow yards as a side hustle during the summer. Fuck, we'll promote it. So
Yep.
Yeah.
you want something
absolutely.
promoted, we'll promote it. Unless it's hate, we don't promote that.
No, we won't do that.
We're not
We won't-
taking
we're not
taking
gonna do
any
that.
Kanye money.
Well, cut.
Not officially. Not officially.
Depends on the price, But
But yeah, so we set our budget and get things rolling. We did release the lineup. I don't have it in front of me, and I'll fuck it up if I try and do it off the cuff.
true.
So maybe next time, or just
Check
take a look
out
at us.
Edge Over Edge on all the socials.
Yeah.
And then
Off the Edge podcast.
and the Summer Bash has its own dedicated
And the
page
Summer
now
Bash.
too.
Yep.
So
All right. There you go.
I think maybe after the bash this year,
the website is endofsummerbash.net, right?
.net. Yeah.
.net.
Maybe we can start an Into Summer Bash Patreon that can run all year round and
That would
maybe
actually-
generate some money.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah.
You know?
So because
then-
then it would just exclusively help pay for
We'll have to
expenses.
brainstorm like something.
and some
Well,
incentives.
yeah, some kind of
Yeah.
perks for Patreon members if
Yeah.
they want
Tier
to do
1
that.
forehead kiss. Bam.
Forehead.
Easy.
Well,
Tier
yeah.
2.
Well, for one, that'll help us keep the show cheap. That's one of the goals that we've always had, was to keep it a low dose show. So
Yes. So
And we have toyed around with expanding different things.
yeah, we would like to do more in the future, and we would still like to keep it a low dose show. So
And just have one sound man, Zach, running the whole thing.
yep.
now BJ was such a good help last year.
Yes. BJ will continue to be a great help.
Yes, and God bless him for it.
BJ Lake, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. Lord, Lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace,
Amen.
because that man is a saint.
They are looking for a new pope.
Hey,
So doors are shut today.
yeah, I know. That didn't come to a decision today. There was black smoke coming
Oh,
out of
really?
the chimney today. Yep. First day.
I heard
See
the
how it
longest
goes.
one was 3 years. Took them 3 years to decide.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
Per some other Catholic I talked to.
That is a long time.
Yeah. That was like back in 17-6 or something.
Oh well, years were longer then.
True.
I sent you guys, since we're on the subject, that thing over like the Cardinals, but NFL teams, like the pick is in,
Yes.
and someone says, "Oh, we have a new pope."
Yeah.
It's like I looked at that and I was like, I wish I thought of that. That's awesome.
Right?
I wish they had a bracket that we could follow and be like, oh, he didn't make the cut. He didn't make the
I
cut.
know, right?
Like the NFL draft. Like
right.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Americans love gambling on that.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Vegas would light.
Come on, Catholics, we need to pump up them numbers. Let's get that.
Amen, brother.
Oh shit.
But no, didn't mean to go down that road. But I'm just saying that freaking BJ is a lifesaver when it
He
comes
is.
He is.
into Summer Bash. And he's been there from the start.
Got
Yeah.
some of the best ears in the game too.
Yeah,
Yes, he
for
does.
sure.
So
Best sound guy I know, for sure. One of, if not the best musicians I know, honestly.
mhm.
Anyway, all right. It's enough trying to blow up BJ's ego here.
Right.
But I just appreciate that dude.
Oh, he's
Absolutely.
huge help. Anybody that comes out and helps, even if it's financially.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
So that show does not happen without support from all of the community, so, and surrounding communities.
Yeah, but more on that in the weeks to come. We'll talk to you later.
SideQuest.